So I just opened this kit from Lux, Taillight tint kit. Well, it's actually not even tint, it's a blackout kit. And I'll show you what one I ordered on this next picture here. Ready? Here's the picture. And the reason I ordered this kit is because I want to black out here, this little section here. And the reason is because this is the second taillight that's starting to fade. All right. Now I have other videos of when I got this taillight replaced by the dealer, but this is a 2014 and it's, you know, almost 10 years later, so I don't feel like spending $1,000 on this, but this is what I'm going to use from Lux. Before I get started, I did a video on this. Sorry, I dropped the camera there. A video on this where I just removed the 10mm from here. So I've been keeping this 10mm out, so after it rains, it does leak out, mostly from this side. For whatever reason, this side doesn't seem to collect as much water. Now, if you see some other Durango videos, let me close this. If you see some other Durango videos, a lot of people say the rubber seal that's back behind this, you can't see it, you have to fully take this off, starts to wear out and the water gets down into there as well. But that hole gives us a chance for it to drain out. So after a good rainstorm, you should open the hatch and let that drain out just to help the life. I've had an issue before where this burn out and then it burn out the taillights as well, these bulbs. So that sucked because then the only thing I had left were the corners. So I'm gonna leave the top. I'm not gonna touch the top. I'm not gonna touch the top, and I'm not gonna touch the sides, even though they sent me the blackout. I just want to block this out before it burns out, and then I want to cover this out. Part of me was thinking about, like, should I cut it here and just let it be? But then I'm like, you know what? I'll just use the piece they gave me because it rounds out pretty nice here. So yeah, that's enough rambling. I'm gonna get one installed. Hopefully it comes out good, and then kind of tell you the process that I did it. All right, you can see it. Did this piece here. I like how they rounded the cut, so it'll look good. It'll be rounded there. The hardest part is trying to do it without getting a little wrinkle. There's a tiny, tiny wrinkle. You really have to be down here to see it. Once you stand up and you're looking at it, you can't even see it. I tried to play with it a little bit, but I didn't want to ruin the tint. Again, I am no professional. But, you know, if you're at Cars and Coffee, you're in a parking lot, nobody will see that. If you come up and go through the whole thing like I am right now, that's the little piece that's in the taillight, and that's the little wrinkle. But again, the wrinkle's on the bottom, just like the center point up here has that little piece. So looks pretty cool. It actually looks pretty cool with the light out as well. Like I said, the kit, it came with this, so you can block this all out, and then it would just be those 2 bars. But I'm gonna leave that, so it's like boom, comes all the way across. All right, so that was obviously the good side, and now we're gonna cover up the bad side. So here we go. Just so you know, I pulled up the Lux video and kind of watched a guy do a similar Durango kit, not the same kit, but a similar one. I followed his instructions because he's an expert and I am not. So this one's got a little bit more wrinkles, but that looks like it worked out pretty good. I'm gonna use 2 hands to pull this off, so I gotta put the phone down. I only use the heat gun for the very end of the tabs, just to fold it to get it to stick there. This way it's good. That's what he did in the video. All right, there it is, the finished product. So I used the heat gun. There was one little tiny wrinkle there, one little tiny wrinkle there. I carefully used the heat gun, and that actually helped flatten the wrinkle. So it's still not perfect, but definitely can't really see it. Now we'll see how it looks at nighttime. I can still see like a little bit of light there. So we'll see if that is kind of annoying at night. If so, I'll put like a light piece that I actually have wrapped. This one only has a tiny bit of light, but if you look, I don't even think it's from, I think it's just from the gap in the racetrack. I don't even think it's from where the tint didn't cover. So you can kind of see the gap here. That's just a gap in the racetrack. You don't expect the tint to cover all that. So worst comes to worst, I can kind of fill that gap in with something. I'd rather not use like caulk, but even if I took a thin piece of black wrap, which I do have black wrap, I could just put, you know, a thin little piece that obviously only I would know about. Down here, I don't know if there's much I can do. Again, that's just that crack in the racetrack, or that gap. It's not really cracked, but going down. So if that looks stupid annoying at night, I'll fill it in with something. So stay tuned for some nighttime photos. Wow, there's how it looks. I think it actually looks pretty cool. Definitely better than buying, what does it cost now? $1,200 for this tail light. So there's a little bit of red, like I said. It's basically through them cracks. Can't really see from the distance. You can see more on this one. So, but I'll probably live with that. But I might put a piece of clear film right in there if I can. Well, it's weird, like I said, it's all from this gap here, the gap in the actual tail light. I guess I would have liked the tint to be a little longer, but it's definitely better than having a faded out bulb. I think this is really cool. Let's see if I can show you. That was like rounded there. I think I said that earlier, but it looks really cool at night. It's kind of like a Star Wars fan, like a lightsaber. Yeah, I would recommend it. It's a cool kit, and it's better than having to buy a whole new tail light if you can live with not having a perfect tail light.